it's just nice to be able to give back. So we're happy to continue to enhance the resources that some organizations might have already been distributing toys, right?
Welcome to the Home Comfort Zone podcast. I'm Theresa. I'm the marketing manager here at All Comfort Services. Today I have a special guest. I have Hannah Stowell, who is the Director of Corporate and Community Engagement with United Way. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So we wanted to have you here to talk about Toys for Tots. United Way does many things in our community, but right now Toys for Tots is something that we're focusing on as a project, as a drop-off site. But we've also been learning through our employee engagement fundraising drive right now a lot about Toys for Tots. Hannah came and talked to our team about that. So Hannah, can you tell me a little bit about Toys for Tots?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started this partnership back in 2020. Essentially, the Marines reached out and knew that United Way was a convener in the community. We bring people together to solve problems that we're hearing about. And so really, when they approached us, it was an easy yes, right? You know, we want to get the gifts to the students or families who need them most. And convenience also, accessibility was a big factor. And so what we've done since 2020, we keep getting it better and better each year, but what we've done is really leveraged the resources and the organizations that we are familiar with. So that's a split between school districts, nonprofit, community organizations that really work hands-on with young families, young students, just given that Toys for Tots serves 0 through age 14. So really what we're doing is just connecting the dots. We're finding the folks who can identify the students who need these gifts, helping them get the gifts, and then they distribute them. So it's really been, again, over the years, we have each year, I feel like we get it tweaked just enough to be better every year. And then, you know, in reality, the need is greater each year. So we're really trusting our partners to identify the families that need the toys. And then, again, just whatever support they need, whether it be toys, volunteers, a Marine present, just to, again, seal the deal with all things Toys for Tots. That's really how we've stepped in.
So initially, people in the community have known Toys for Tots at the Alliance Center, that there would be the distribution of those toys and people would come and pick up, and that was managed by the Marines at that time, or organized with?
Yes, yeah, it was, and I'm glad you mentioned that because, prior to this partnership, I got the inside scoop on how the program was really being ran, and essentially the Marines had a simple little 2-question form on their website, what age and what kind of toys the student would like, and then families submitted their responses and had to show up at Alliant at whatever date it might have been that year, wait however long the wait might be for a bag of gifts to be put into their car, and then they drive off. So we're having families, at that point, families were coming from all over the corners of the county, waiting. Maybe they get the gifts, maybe it's not what they want, whatever it may be. And now I think the success is that they're going to a familiar place, somebody who is already a school counselor or a teacher or a nonprofit employee that knows this family. They're just going to have to go down the street and find a familiar face with their bag of gifts instead of having to wait and act, again, the accessibility of it all, I would say, is the biggest success factor. And then again, too, knowing that we're putting the trust into people and partners that are already familiar with these families and students. They know what their needs are, and if they need gifts for the holiday seasons, then they're on the list and they can trust that it'll be provided to them.
So it's really a fantastic program that the Marines do all over the country. Yeah. And then now they're partnering with a fantastic organization in Madison that's used to helping in emergencies and executing different things, much like the Marines can know how to execute different operations. But so it's just gotten that much better. So the Marines collect the toys, and so now is it the needs come through the school districts first, or how does that part work then?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I always try to give some context to how and where we got where we are. So essentially that first year, it was super easy for us to obviously reach out to the school districts, right? Or we call it, a partnership opt-in, right? Are you opting in to be a part of this big program? It's a big ship to steer. If you don't have the capacity, no worries. So we started with the school districts, and then depending on the school districts that weren't opting in, we filled in the gaps geographically with our nonprofit and community partners. Again, with the accessibility aspect really at mind. And so it was interesting, right? And thankfully, we've had between 13 and 15 partners over the last 5 years. Not a lot of turnover. And really what we found too was that a lot of the nonprofits and community organizations were already running some sort of toy drive. And so really what we were doing was just stepping in to beef it up a little bit, make it more robust, right? And so it's interesting when you, identify who's doing what, where they're doing it, who are they serving. And again, the biggest success story that I've heard from most of our partners is, one, how awesome that you beefed up our toy drive already, right? Wow. But then also families that are, just grateful to not have to waste resources going to Alliant Energy if they're, on the far west side or in Stoughton. That's a long haul to go and wait and, get the toys that you're looking for. So
are those partners mostly school districts then that the toys get distributed from?
I would say it's about 50-50, actually, yeah. Again, most of our partners, we do have a lot of school districts, and some of our partners, schools and nonprofits, have multiple drop-off sites. So we partner, for example, 2 examples. So one with a nonprofit, so Boys and Girls Club. They've got 3 locations across the Dane County area. So again, you're going to a familiar place. Your kids are already hanging out there. It's not a big deal to show up down the block. But then a big success has also been with MMSD. It's, a big project, but we've had the last couple of years drop-offs, pickups at each elementary and middle school. So again, that tacks on 40-ish different locations, but the benefit is that families don't have to go to some far all off place. They can just go to the school that they're dropping and picking their kids up off anyways.
So what communities are you serving? What is the range that you're serving in for the toy distribution? Yeah,
so we serve all of Dane County. Again, every corner I feel like geographically is being served, and again, the partners that are representing these distribution sites know the locations that they're serving, the people that they're serving. And I think that that's really been one of the biggest successes, is leveraging those pre-existing relationships that me and United Way as a whole, we don't know you as well as the school counselor that sees your student every day.
Yeah, that's great partnership. So where people are listening, watching this right now, and they want to drop off some toys, how can they find out about where they can drop off toys?
Yeah, absolutely. So WKOW is our media sponsor, so they definitely are spreading the word for us. Thank you. The Marines website is also a great spot to check out. There are over 100 different drop-off sites, so there's definitely one nearby for any listener listening. And then United Way is also happy to be a drop-off site, and we're grateful that the east side of Madison is very generous, but I think that it's a centralized location. And then for anybody that is farther, wider than we can reach, we do have an Amazon wish list that can be located on our website, at unitedwayofdanecounty.org.
Great. And the whole reason why you're on the show here right now is we volunteered last year, and a coworker and her daughter were participating, and they were really inspired. And the daughter is she's on a brownie troop in McFarland, and the brownie troop has taken this on to collect toys, and so we're supporting them by having boxes in our vestibule.
Yeah.
So it gives us an opportunity, and our employees an opportunity to help. Mm-hmm. And our customers can give the technicians toys, and they can bring them back to the shop.
Super easy.
Yeah, and toys are already starting to pile in. It's really a fun thing. It's a great thing for our community. So now that people know, where to drop these off, and what's the whole timing of all of this?
So we will take toys starting yesterday, and then we'll go through December 19th. So again, it's a big ship, and I think the timeline really gets squished between the school holidays, just holidays in general, but school breaks. So given that half of our partners are school districts or organizations that just recognize the school breaks, it can get a little dicey around Thanksgiving and the actual Christmas break. But we do have a few different partners that do distributions later in the year. So for example, Centro Hispano, they do Three Kings celebration, so that happens in January. So I'm saying December 19th, but if you get them to me by January, I'd be happy.
Great, and we'll get them to you too if we get them later. And so we noticed something when we were collecting, that there was an age group that's not as recognized, I guess, 9 to 13 or 14-year-old. We're trying to give a particular focus to get them toys for their particular age group. What would you say some of a few things would be that age group would be good to get?
Great question. So yes, the preteens, they're always the harder group to serve. It's easy to give a 2-year-old teddy bear and they're going to be stoked for that teddy bear. Teenagers, preteens, like I said, can be a little trickier. So I would say things like headphones, speakers, board games can be a hit. We also do a lot of like personal care kits. Those kind of become more popular around the holidays. You'll start to see just like Axis putting out all of the little like personal care kits. So we do grab a lot of those, but yeah, I mean, anything that that your 14-year-old would like, most 14-year-olds probably like, and it is challenging when you think about how technology is just it's so hot. It's a big deal with teenagers. It's a big deal with everyone, and those are expensive, right? So when it comes to things like a Roblox gift card, probably not going to come from Toys for Tots. I wish we could. But yeah, thinking things, like wireless headphones, that's a biggest hit, I would say. And, you can kind of wander the store. I know not everybody's big on in-person shopping, but even, online shopping, they give some pretty good suggestions. Crafting kits, things like that.
Yeah, and it could be under $35, and there can be stocking stuffers too.
Yes.
So little things. So I know that when we were putting the kits together, there was a bin for just stocking stuffers, and so it doesn't have to be an expensive item. So do you have any success stories about this program since you've been participating?
Yes. I mean, definitely, like I said, the accessibility. People are just very, very grateful to not have to waste their resources getting to a lion, wasting time waiting at a lion. If everybody's coming to one place, it's just going to be chaos, right? So definitely that is the biggest success. And then we work really closely with each of our partners who, they're taking on a lot of work. If you're going to be tasked with identifying the families, getting us the registration list, and then ultimately you're distributing the gifts too, it's incredible to see just how much people who are already probably really busy, we're talking nonprofit community workers, school staff members and PTA parents who are coming through to just help distribute the gifts. It gives them a level of ownership, but also, again, just additional resources to give to the people that they are serving year-round. And it's no surprise that the holiday seasons can be really challenging for families. And again, it's just nice to be able to give back. So we're happy to continue to enhance the resources that some organizations might have already been distributing toys, right?
Right.
But so many of our schools wish so badly that they had toys to give, and now they do. Yeah. And so it really is the biggest project of our, definitely for my team, I would say it's the biggest project of the year. And then it really enhances and highlights the work that it takes to do it all, and how many people, like All Comfort Services, individuals who are, donating toys for the drivers to bring back. It comes from all corners. And I think it just, again, highlights the generosity of Dane County and how we're all trying to help however we can. So between, the toys that we receive, the volunteers, it takes over 1,000 volunteers to sort, inventory, and pack all of these gifts.
And speaking about that, so lastly, the volunteer aspect. So some people may not have extra dollars to donate. That's okay. You can give your time. And so what are some of the things that folks can do if they want to help out with this project?
Definitely. So starting November 1st, we're going to launch our holiday wish list on volunteeryourtime.org. And that won't be exclusive to Toys for Tots. You might log on and you might see a totally different project that piques your interest or a donation need that piques your interest. We're here to promote these holiday needs because it just becomes more of a prevalent need during this time of year. So yes, volunteeryourtime.org. Keep your eyes peeled. November 1st is when we launch it officially. And like I said, it takes over 1,000 folks to help with Toys for Tots. And those shifts will primarily run. We have a couple of shifts right before Thanksgiving. I'm hoping that we can fill them. About 50 volunteers. We have a morning and afternoon shift, so about 25 volunteers each shift. And then the first couple of weeks of December. And we're just cruising from the beginning of November through the end of December, and then kind of trickling into January a little bit. But it takes everybody's help to make it happen.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing all of this information with us so people could find out about it and take action in our community.
We're really grateful. I mean, again, it takes so many organizations to make it happen, individuals to make it happen, and All Comfort Services has really stepped up, and I'm very, very grateful.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This was awesome.